Hello, everyone, and happy Pop Chat Friday. Yes, Brianna is in the spirit. We're listening to Brittany. I don't know if you were referring to my track or if you were listening to Brittany on your own, which you get bonus points for. Because that is the best way to start Pop Chat. But anyway, I want to thank all of you for being with me today. I know it's been a super heavy week. It's been a dark week. It's been hitting me really hard. The videos we were never meant to see and the comments that have just the cruelest, most disgusting comments I think I've ever read. And just the videos and pictures that I've seen of Charlie Kirk's family as a wife and mother. I haven't felt okay. All of this has just been breaking my heart. And I hope that we can all come together and, just lift everyone's spirits during this horrific time. I don't know if you saw, but the governor of Utah did a press conference earlier, and he described social media as a cancer right now. And I've logged out of pretty much every social media app except LinkedIn. And that is really what it feels like. So I hope this hour brings you joy. I hope you get out and get outside this week. I hope you touch grass, as they say, because it's been really dark. But thank you all for spending time with me. Let's get into it. We've got some other trending topics, things in pop culture, fun things that we can discuss that have also gone on this week. And like I mentioned when promoting this chat today, I was hesitant to even continue and to put it on because there's so many devastating headlines. But I think during times like these, coming together is really important. So do me a favor, if you're here, if you're listening, if you're ready to wrap up your week with some positivity, say hello. Let us know where you're joining in from and what you do, and we will all get better acquainted here. Yeah, Brianna, listening to Brittany on your own. Okay, I need to know what track or track specifically, what album. I need more information here. We need to discuss all of Brittany's eras. So tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and what you do. If this is your first time joining Pop Chat, a little bit about me. I am a marketer, but also a fangirl. I love the Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, 90s and early 2000s pop culture, but also some things from this decade, some new artists too. Here I am with my beloved Backstreet Boys and my undergrad. I got my degree in advertising at the University of Central Florida, and now I teach branding and social media at the University of Florida. So Florida schools, back teaching, all the fun things. But as I mentioned, I love pop culture. I host a podcast called Making the Brand about marketing and pop culture. And that's what we talk about here too. Alexandra's here. She's from Miami. Hello, content marketer. Kyle's here. Always great to see you. Oh, yes, we're going way back. Is Baby One More Time quite possibly the best debut single ever? Let me know what you think. I think Rolling Stone has has ranked it pretty far up there. The most powerful. I mean, she really kicked off a whole movement. But if you can think of something that comes close, let me know. I live in South Florida with my husband, Sandy, and our daughter, Thea, who is napping right now. And I'm solo parenting this week, so we're going to hope that she stays asleep for the next hour. But we may have to cut this short. We'll see. And as some of you know, I am expecting baby number 2. And one thing I forgot to mention is that this is going to become the baby's room. So Pop Chat HQ, I'm going to have to figure something else out. We might be just doing this on a laptop soon. Lathan says, Baby One More Time is at least the most recognizable opening refrain. Okay. Hi, Savannah's here. Brianna agrees, most iconic debut single of all time. So yes, please go ahead, introduce yourselves, because unlike the Backstreet Boys say, I should say, I do care who you are, where you're from, and what you do. So, quickly, in a nutshell, what is Pop Chat? It's a fusion of marketing, pop culture. We're going to talk about trending topics, and kind of a fun byproduct of that is that we get to bond over things other than our jobs, and really feel a sense of community and connection. But we also connect through our work and our creativity and all that fun stuff. Amy, you're back. I haven't seen you in so long. I've been waiting for your return. So great to see you. Yes, and this is the second Pop Chat since the summer hiatus. So you haven't missed much. We are back in full swing. She's from Wharton, Texas. She's a rural marketing specialist. Oh, interesting. She also has a business consultancy where she focuses on M&A, turnarounds, and executive leadership coaching. Well, quite a mix of expertise. I love it. So the way it works, first and foremost, be you. There's no single authority here, whether you are dipping your toe in marketing, whether you've been in it for years, maybe you're not in it and you just like pop culture and you're curious. Welcome, share your thoughts, reply to others, connect, and have fun. That's what we're all about. So for my icebreaker today, let's share some positive thoughts. What is something you're looking forward to in the immediate future? It could be later today, it could be this weekend, next week, before the end of the year. Just what is something you're looking forward to right now? For me, I think I touched on this. Oh, Brianna, I might need to spend some time on this. Something that I'm looking forward to, as I touched on last week, is the Dancing with the Stars premiere next Tuesday. I kind of have a controversial take on the Backstreet Boys concert, guys. Something I think I can admit it. Okay, I'm just gonna say it while you're thinking about what you're looking forward to. So I've seen the Backstreet Boys more times in the last 5 years than I did in their prime when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. They have been touring. They released an album in 2019, and then they were touring a bunch, and then COVID happened, and then they went back on tour, like kind of post COVID. I've seen them maybe 10 times in the last 5 years. And while the Sphere was amazing and the visuals and everything was so incredible, I feel like a lot of people who are going haven't really been the ones that have been around the last 5 years and going to their smaller shows like I have, or their, I don't know, less well-known tours. So they're getting this taste of nostalgia and how amazing the Backstreet Boys are for the first time in maybe 20 years. And I've been experiencing it very currently. So I think a lot of that hype that people are experiencing is something that I've kind of understood. And I don't want to say it's overblown, but I feel like I want to say, like, hey, where have you been? This has been going on. I know the venue itself is amazing, but they've still got it. The music still gives you that incredible feeling. And yeah, so that's kind of my little bit of a hot take. Oh, thank you, Amy. So glad you're here. Alexandra's starting a new job in 2 weeks. Tell us more, or whenever you can. Come back in 2 weeks. Yes, the summer I turned pretty. So I've had friends try to get me on the summer I turned pretty, and I haven't yet. I watched the pilot. I thought it was a little cringe. And I don't really say that about a lot of TV. I'll kind of watch anything. Allie and AJ. Um, I need to get back into it. It's not in the 90s or 100s here in South Texas any longer. Looking forward to a Saturday with family, chickens, dogs, and grilling. That's perfect. Oh my gosh. Please invite us. Monique, I've got your question lined up. Stoked for Dancing with the Stars too. I'm a giant Robert Irwin fan, and he's with my favorite pro, Whitney. So yeah. Friend's new album, and there's a record release party. That's awesome. What kind of music? Oh my God, Brianna, you're a real one. You've got to get out to the Sphere, you know? Brianna, I do want to say a special thanks to you for being here, because I always see that you're hosting live streams. And of course, I don't see them till the end of the day or until they're over, or 3 weeks from when you originally posted it. So please give me a personal heads up. Kyle, I wanted a question about this, but I couldn't quite crack it. So feel free to discuss. Maybe we'll discuss it when she actually drops the album. I'm curious for what she's going to title it too. I mean, I don't know. All I know is Metamorphosis. I can't think of the titles of her albums after that, but I hope it's kind of a play on Metamorphosis and like coming back, and maybe it'll be called Butterfly. I don't know. Okay, lots of fun things to look forward to. Look out for that. Today in pop culture history, we've got some fun hashtag holidays to celebrate. If you didn't know, today is National Video Games Day. So go ahead and get out your Mario Kart and your Duck Hunt and all your fun 90s games, because those were the best. Anne's friend, Appalachian folk punk music. Artist is a Black Guy Fox, and y'all should go listen to his stuff. Drop the links. Wait, I see you talking to Amy here, but I don't see her in the oh, here we go. Oh, yes. Yes. Love it. I know Amy, we've had some DMs about Dancing with the Stars too. So excited. Today is also National Day of Encouragement. So how's that for some positivity? Maybe DM something encouraging to someone. I encourage you all to get out and have a fun weekend. And it's also National Hug and High Five Day. So let the rain fall down. Yes. Why is it the new Mario movie trailer dropped today? Oh, is that why the new... Oh, I don't know. Do we need to give some marketer out there who planned this some flowers? Because I definitely didn't hear that. I didn't even know there was a new Mario movie. So interesting. Also, on this day in 2010 was when John Mayer quit Twitter. He eventually came back in 2014 and is still active on Twitter, but I thought his quote about this was interesting. He says, "I realized about a year ago that I couldn't have a complete thought anymore, and I was a tweetaholic. I had 4 million Twitter followers, and I was always writing on it. And I stopped using Twitter as an outlet, and I started using it as the instrument to riff on, and it started to make my mind smaller and smaller and smaller, and I couldn't write a song." Oh, no. I sometimes think social is making my mind smaller, because I'll have this not fully developed thought, and I'll be like, okay, how can I evolve this into a LinkedIn post? I'm like, that is so freaking weird. So in the spirit of disconnecting a little, I thought that was fitting. All the hugs and high fives to all of you. Yes. Oh, is this the Mario trail? Okay, cool. Thank you. Everyone go click it. I can't see it from here in StreamYard, but I'm excited. Okay, trending topics. Some lighthearted trending topics. Our queen, Mariah Carey, won the Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs. This is what AI is going to do to all of us, just saying, yeah, that we can't write a full sentence. We can't think for ourselves anymore. This doom and gloom, I can't. What do we do? That quote is so applicable to today. I know. That's why I had to include it, Katie. I was like, is this really newsworthy? Will they care about this? And I'm glad you see the relevance. So Mariah Carey won the Video Vanguard Award. And what's interesting about this is I learned, and she revealed, that this was her first VMA ever. She's been around since the early 90s and is one of the best-selling... Yeah, exactly, Alexandra. Listen to Alexandra. This is the whole premise of the question, that we're shocked to learn that, first of all, the highest honor was her first VMA, and she's just one of the most iconic, most talented, best-selling artists of all time. Insane. So my question to you, kind of on a personal level, is, whoops, how do you keep trusting the process when recognition is slow or non-existent? What keeps you going? Do you ever need that external validation? Like, I feel like she could have easily said, like, MTV, music television, isn't recognizing my work. What am I doing wrong? And really kind of spiraled. But she's Mariah Carey. We all know that that's not what happened. But I feel like as a creative, it's easy to be overlooked for a lot of things, and creativity is so subjective. Yay, Anne. Sorry these come in out of order sometimes. But yes, so happy you're here. And I hope it worked out with Eddie. Let me know. So Eddie is not like someone I set her up with on a date. It's a contracting role. So I don't trust the process. I don't trust anyone. So what's your mindset around this then, Savannah? Do you need recognition? Do you need external validation? What fills your cup, I guess? Lathan says it doesn't always have to be loud external recognition, just some example that the work you do makes an impact. You have to hope someone will see your vision. Yeah. And I hope in a lot of cases, I hope this is your managers, the people that you work for, that see the value in what you're doing, because that could be really draining. But really, I think being creative shouldn't require external validation. You have to find value in the process. Yes. Yes. I wonder if that's easier said than done. Um, you know, yeah, I get that. Noah, you jokester. I'm literally bad at everything I do except this. That keeps you going because there's no hope for anything else. Happy you're here, Noah. Yay, awesome. Yeah, so do you need that external validation? I feel like the nature of which we share our work now, I mean, everything can be measured, everything can be quantified in likes and comments, and that could be so damaging. So yeah, keep trusting the process. You don't need recognition and, validation. I think a lot of it also comes down to just enjoying what you're doing. I know we always say know your audience and create things for your audience and blah, blah, blah. But I think a lot of creativity, I think first and foremost, should come down to, are you happy? Are you creating things that you like? Because if you're only doing it for your audience and you're not having fun, that's definitely not going to keep you going. External validation isn't a lasting feeling. The process is. Yeah, it's just like these quick little dopamine hits. Whoops. Amy says, I just took a look at work I produced 10 years ago and compared it to now. I have a good laugh and feel fantastic about my work today. Yes. I have done this once. I won't do it again, but I've done this with past podcast episodes. I'm like, who is this? Who was that girl? It's so awful. I have little faith in the process, but I believe in giving what you get. Recognize your coworkers and cheer on your friends. And I don't know, something about karma. Yeah, it's all going to work out. Just be a good human. I like that. So if you have any additional thoughts on this, feel free to chime in. But we're going to talk about Meghan Markle. First of all, who did not know that season 2 of her show with Love Meghan was on Netflix? Did you hear about this? Did you hear that it's out? Did you see it? And on the pessimist side, continuing to get a paycheck is enough validation. Yes. I wouldn't even say that's pessimistic. I think that's practical. I think that's kind of prioritizing the right things, because getting your paycheck is enough to, do what you got to do to see your friends and your family and to, just live a comfortable life. And that's validation. I love that, Anne. Rapali says, find those team members who do share recognition and show them. Do it yourself. Show recognition to others and it will come back to you. That's so beautiful. I've found that to be true. Monique says, I think I agree with Savannah. It definitely helps when the validation is there, but being creative in marketing is an art. The work you put out grows, speaks for yourself, and audience can tell. Yeah, and I think that's the case for Mariah. Like, MTV may not have noticed, but her fans were supporting her, and you don't need this like higher power to tell you what you're doing is worthy. Yeah. Monique didn't know she had a season 1. I only mentioned that because we've definitely talked about it on Pop Chat before. But yeah, she's got a season 2 of her show. It's like this lifestyle show where she's cooking and she's at this beautiful home in Santa Barbara, and she goes out to her garden and her farm and she has fresh ingredients right on hand and all these things. But anyway, let's talk about why it's a missed opportunity because season 2 seems to be flopping. It did not crack the top 10. And what makes it even stickier is that she has this lifestyle brand called As Ever, where she sells her own like jams and I don't know, like houseware products. And Netflix is a big investor in that. And when they filmed season 2, it was in conjunction with season 1, and they didn't have all of her products and everything from her brand lined up and set up yet. So there was very little product placement in season 2. And Netflix is it seems like they're not getting their money back. I have this quote to kind of explain it further from Nick Eade, who is a brand and culture expert. He says, if you think about it, Netflix hasn't really made any money just yet. Their investment must have been huge into actually creating the product and building the brand, rebranding it and putting it out there. And this season 2 is a missed opportunity, which could have been a glorified infomercial if they'd got it right. So she barely mentions her brand. She has like her own line of preserves and little like flower things and stuff. She needs some suits telling her she's good. She had the numbers. Yes, Mariah. No. Honestly, I might try that. Yay. That almost worked as a Suits tie-in. Wait, tell me more. Because I love Suits. What did I say? I missed it. It amazes me what Netflix cancels versus keeps for more seasons. Yeah. So, that remains to be seen. Will they do another season? She does have a Christmas special coming up, I've read. So they might do some product placement there. But otherwise, her brand seems to kind of be tanking. And Brianna says, we just had someone do an unboxing from As Ever. Her branding is so good. And you wouldn't know it because it's not in her show. So, but my question for you is, how has your tolerance for product placement or branded content changed over time? I was surprised to see, not surprised, but I found it refreshing that the quote from the brand and culture expert, he said that this show could have been a glorified infomercial. And it's like, do people really want that? Maybe we're okay with that. Like, are you more okay with product placement and maybe heavier handed promotional content being sold to more than you have been, or has your view on this evolved? Thank you. She sells jams, yeah, and preserves. If she was smart, she would sell her jams to a big hotel chain for their brunches and room service. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just all kind of crowdsource some ideas for Meghan Markle. You would think she doesn't have to do much. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes, speaking of Suits, yes. That's funny. David's here. I blame Bill Yost for everything canceled at Netflix. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I have another pop culture blind spot, but it's apparently really funny. I'm glad you're getting some laughs. I need to be filled in. Because first of all, if you're not following David, your timeline needs it. He is hilarious. As you can see. Lathan says, being in the industry, I am jaded. I do not notice placement and branded content unless it really breaks the mold. I just feel like every time I open Instagram, mostly, it's just a big catalog. And even TikTok, like I'll seek out reviews and products, and that's kind of how I shop now. And it's like people are selling to me constantly. Sima's here. Sima got a new job. She says, I'm okay with subtle product placement, but if it's over the top, then it distracts from the show storyline. Yes. Yeah, I think that's especially true in like fictional, like a fictional sense, or like when they put it in music videos, like that's always obnoxious. Since Meghan Markle's is like a reality show, I think it would feel a little different, a little more natural. Brianna says, I'm way more open now as long as it's fun and feels natural. I want fun and weird. Yes. Brianna always champions the fun and weird, so go follow her if you're not already. My problem is when it's a wave of the same brands hitting all the influencers at the same time. Ooh, give me some examples. Yay, go follow David. Amr Polly says, I think it depends on how the placement has been done. If the product is one that I believe in and it's not over the top placement, then it goes well. When it seems really obvious and everywhere, it becomes a distraction. Interesting. It's almost like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'd rather them just come out with it and hit me in the face and for her to be like, this is from, my line as ever, instead of like trying to like sneak things in and like disguise product placement as being natural. Like, hey, just be direct. I don't know. I think that's where I am. I'm probably so jaded too. Monique says, I haven't seen the show, but I love how in Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they would often have business meetings on camera. It wouldn't take away from the show or the drama, but it allowed the audience a bit of a behind the scenes on the business side. Yes, they are masters at this. They are masters at this. Cassandra's here. Actually kind of like it when the product placement is very obvious in movies or shows. It's funny, but maybe that's just because I'm a marketer. Yeah, it's funny to kind of look for it. I need to like fact check this, but didn't was it Rain Man actually? Tom Cruise wore Ray-Bans in one of his movies and it like saved Ray-Bans. TikTok has become this generation's UGC or QVC, sorry. That is true. I feel that. The new War of the Worlds movie on Amazon Prime went viral for being a very obvious commercial for Amazon. Ooh, I'm not privy to that. But I love how you all have eyes and ears and things where I'm in mom mode all day, you guys. So I feel like I'm a little less aware of things now. So thank you. But yes, we're turning this Friday into Feel Good Friday. So share something good, share some good news, shout someone out. We've got some new roles, some new jobs. People are celebrating. Any birthdays happening? Anything exciting going on this weekend? Let me know. Sima said, "Ooh, I love examples. In the summer I turned pretty, they had a pretty heavy product placement for Apple AirTags, but it played a plot device to allow Belly to find her stolen bag. They also mentioned drinking Gatorade to help recover from a hangover, which feels fitting to the storyline as well." Yeah, do you think these are formal partnerships? Oh, it is Jurassic Park. Really? I am going to David. Yes, I know you saw that we're gonna do the whole chat in Friends quotes. Tom Cruise is in Jurassic Park. Y'all remember how they'd stick in the brands in the Truman Show? Oh my goodness. I was just thinking about the scene in season 1 where Jeremiah asked Alexa to play a song. I wrote a post about that. Please drop the link to the post. Too funny. Okay, Monique, this is your moment. I want to thank Monique for DMing me this idea for this question, and she needs to phone a friend. She needs some help. She needs to hear from other marketers in the room. So if you're feeling generous and want to help her through this this question, and Monique, I just kind of pulled because I've heard about this too in the news. I pulled an example article. The question is in regards to artists, smaller artists, having their work ripped off by Shein and Temu. And it seems as if Monique has a client or someone that she's been working with that is hesitant to put their work online in fear of it being stolen and copycatted. And, especially since Shein and Temu, these kind of budget, fast brands are ripping off these artists and making cheap versions of their designs and knockoffs. Yeah, she says, I've been struggling. I've been talking to a lot of clothing and toy artists specifically who have been really struggling to promote themselves using their work. And I was wondering if you had any advice. So think on this one. My question to kind of formalize this, thanks for the tip, Monique, is how would you advise a client who avoids social media out of fear of copycats or revealing trade secrets? I've heard that objection before too, is I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to share all my secrets. It's like, that's how you build the credibility to get more clients. Oh my gosh, Leah's here. Leah's here from the In Case You Missed It newsletter. In case you've missed it, please go subscribe. It's amazing. She got to email or interview Love Island's Kaylor this week and find a creator marketing crossover angle. Happy days. Yes, that is some good news. We'll have to check that out. Drop all the links. I think some of them are official brand partnerships. Yeah, I'd love to brush up on that and read up on it. Yes, Sima got a new job. Congrats. I think it made sense and did so well because pickpocketers in France was a big trending thing on TikTok recently, and the episode played into that with the air tags. So funny and natural. Yes. Oh my gosh. Product placement needs to feel natural. Marty McFly constantly drinking a Pepsi in the Back to the Future movies makes sense, feels natural. The constant shots of the Toyota logo and trying to make, my new Toyota Prius has a self-parking feature. And what feels like every single episode of Bones. So obvious and bad, it takes you completely out of the show. Well said. Leah says regarding Sheen, talk to Cassie Ho, aka Blogilates. Oh no, did this happen to her? Ugh, Amy has a client like this too. Okay, let's all put our heads together because this seems to be a big problem. Concerned about putting products online, but wants to sell online. Savannah says Popflex CEO posts all the time about Shein and Nordstrom stealing her patented designs. Yikes. Every car is a Chevy. Yeah. Oh, Monique wants to clarify. I'm not in marketing right now. I just talk to a lot of artists. However, I do hate my job if y'all have leads. You are in marketing when you're here, Monique. You're an honorary marketer. And if you hate your job, I'm so sorry. Yes, thank you, Leah. Happy Friday. Lathan says, you do not have to reveal it all. You can give teasers and hints to keep up communication. Don't let them all the way in. What I think with this is like Shein and Temu, you're not going to get quality. You're going to get kind of garbage. Kyle says the thing is 99% of people won't do anything with the information you give for free. Yeah. And if that 1%, jab, 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 right hook, is your future client base because you amplified your message or your product, I think that's saying something. Yes, go check out Leah's newsletter. It is amazing. She is just at the forefront of all things marketing. I mean, the newsletter is called In Case You Missed It. So she keeps us informed. I kind of keep us in the 90s and early 2000s. It's a good balance here. Wait, tell me more. Yes. Lathan, keep sharing your brain. Cassandra says you can't avoid social and expect to have the sales of competitors, but a good way to feel better about potential copyright stealing this is use video or something that is more difficult to get detail from. I've seen puzzle brands do this on TikTok. Yeah. And I think, build a human connection as the artist. Like we're always seeking relationships. We want to support individuals and great artists. And Shein, we don't have that personal connection with. So if they want to rip it off, fine. But my personal opinion is you're going to find people that want to support the artist too. And that Shein might be putting a light on your quality work and who you are as a person and the artist. So, hey, let them. And I'd be curious to talk to people that this has happened to. Maybe the Blogilates story didn't turn out so well. But I don't know. That's kind of what I predict would happen. For this artist, a metal worker, we are focusing on storytelling and videos like time lapse in the shop. It's harder to fake that and rip it off. No idea is original. It's just a matter of who executes it the best. Yeah. And Shein, I don't think will do that. Report them to the FBI. Yeah. I think they're cracking down on this stuff. Simon says, I would recommend that they tout the high quality of my design and product while only showing limited things online. Encourage fans to sign up for newsletters to show more exclusive content through there. That's really smart. I don't think Shein is subscribing to everything and ripping things off from there. I think that's a smart channel. You can give in the lab style images of planning and glimpses, make the eventual reveal a buildup. Thieves will always be there when it is finally revealed, but make that connection to a real person and their craft. Yes. Yes. If anyone has additional thoughts on this or wants to kind of brainstorm with Monique, first of all, thank you so much for your input here. And thank you, Monique, for inspiring the question. But feel free to DM and keep this going. Or if this has happened to you and you want to, continue that conversation, I encourage you to. The thing about getting garbage from Shein is some people don't care. They'll settle for cheap knockoffs. Yeah, I think that's true too. But if that's the case, maybe they were never your client to begin with, and they would have never bought your product because they weren't interested in quality, or the price tag wasn't something that they could frankly afford. So I don't know. Newsletter is brilliant. See, look at you guys. Thank you so much. Let's wrap up with a little bit of industry news. I don't know if we're over talking about it yet, but we're going to touch on Cracker Barrel because the plot thickens. They've now also put a halt and just stopped altogether doing their remodels of their locations. Anne says, not just quality of the actual products, but quality of customer service. Highlight how you handle issues, use real customer stories, response times, etc. Yes, let the little guys win. We will take down Shein and Temu. But anyway, so Cracker Barrel is walking back their renovations too, in addition to their logo, as I'm sure you've heard. You can see here the chain suspends remodels at 660 locations, keeps traditional logo after widespread criticism. Woof. So they really tried, you guys. They tried to modernize, but the real tea has arrived. My question is, how can brands modernize without alienating their loyal customers? And when is change too much? When is it too much? I think it's important for brands to modernize and keep things current, but how do you do that if people are so resistant to change? Oh boy, Kyle, they froze the job I was in candidacy for because of this. Yeah, they're really going through it. It was either a huge mistake or the absolute best PR move ever. Either way, I'm happy it went back to the original. Me too. Does it make us want to go to Cracker Barrel? I'm definitely thinking about it more than I ever was. I could go sit in a rocking chair and play some games, maybe buy some gifts. Yeah, I don't know if I have one close to me, but so kind of where did they go wrong? Why was this change and effort to modernize just met with such criticism, and how can brands do it right? Leah says, I think it depends. If you're a comfort brand, many others wouldn't suffer the same backlash. Yeah, it seems like Cracker Barrel was so rooted in tradition and these like core memories that people had going there with their families and like kind of these fond memories of it. And to feel like that was changing for, I don't know, their families now that they're older or future generations. I don't know. They just were very resistant to it. All press is good press. Yeah, I'd be curious to see some numbers here. Who has the stats? How is the food? I think the food was unremarkable. I think people really liked the I don't know, like their country fried steak. I actually have never been to a Cracker Barrel. Maybe that's something you could put on your bucket list, Amy. Lathan says rebrands and modernizations are fine, but with Cracker Barrel, they made too dramatic a change too quickly, and the store design was part of their identity. Yes, they kind of just like stripped away so much of that logo too. Like we saw Walmart do the most subtle rebrand, kind of the opposite. You couldn't even tell that they changed anything. And then this was kind of the opposite. They probably could have gotten away with it if it didn't move so far away from the original. See Pepsi. Yes. David says, if it was truly built on strategy, they wouldn't have pulled back. It seems to me there wasn't a real strategy to begin with. Yeah, just why? Why? Oh, Bill Yost is here. I do know this guy. Hello. Sorry you got blamed for everything that's getting canceled at Netflix. I need to learn why. I thought they were saying like some Netflix executive or something. And maybe you are. We need to be friends. Welcome to Pop Chat. Please let us know your thoughts on Cracker Barrel. The nostalgia makes the food taste better, I swear. Yes, and kind of just going with the right people. And the fact that we didn't have phones and iPads and we were just playing those like little peg games at the table, like that's so pure. The food is fire. Don't listen to the haters. Leah says the one and only time I went, Dixie D'Amelio was there. And I don't think that's indicative of the usual experience. That is funny. Huh. What city was that in, Leah? Noah with the comic relief. I love it. And Bill's right there behind him. Chris is here. In my opinion, I would have built a little mystery campaign first to prep people for the change. That path helps you gauge the readiness for change and makes it a little more fun. Yeah, I wonder if that, I don't know. I feel like it would have been like, ta-da! And it's like, we removed everything that made this logo interesting. But I think you're right to that point. That could work better for other brands. I may be alone in this, but I don't think people actually cared about Uncle Herschel until he was not in the logo. Also, before that, the average Cracker Barrel goer didn't care about the man in the logo anyway, just saying. Calabasas. Okay. Interesting. I could never live in LA. I would just see people. I would run it like see famous people all the time. I would have no chill. It would just be a bad Kardashian country. It would be a bad combination. You guys trolling each other. Monique says, Cracker Barrel logo, it's usually something you see while you're driving down the highway and you're like, yes, let's stop there. If they change the logo, your eyes aren't recognizing it the same. Monique, you are a marketer, okay? Pravir is here. Hello. They should have studied customer or consumer sentiment beforehand using some other surrogate change. Yeah, I don't think they did any research to David's point or had any real strategy behind this besides just blanding, as they call it. So, all right, let's kind of wrap up with making everyone feel old. That's what I tend to do here at Pop Chat as we go back in time and reminisce and stuff. My first trip to LA, I saw Jonah Hill at a restaurant. Is this a good or a bad thing? So my question is, was he the host at this restaurant? And did he say, he said, is it just you? Is just a table for one? Do you want a magazine or something? What movie? Let me know what movie. There's also some who think this may be a new Coke play, screwing with the logo just to create the buzz and go back. Huh. I feel like Coke is like the one brand that really can never do anything. Monique, we're here to help. No A/B testing. Yep. What just happened? Yeah. See, Noah. You guys are too funny. Okay. This headline. Gen Z is shifting away from traditional partying, according to the New York Times. And the headline was, is partying dead or are you just old? Maybe a little bit of both. The article said Gen Z is turning away from traditional partying, instead favoring smaller, more intentional gatherings, online hangouts, and creative digital experiences. This shift is driven by a mix of mental health awareness, financial constraints, and environmental values, highlighting how they prioritize meaningful connections and mindful experiences over status-driven socializing. Okay. So they're not going out and, playing Kesha till 2 a.m. They are having more meaningful, mindful gatherings and online hangouts. So I haven't been going out anymore. I've been connecting with a lot of people online and having, more digital conversations. So my question for you is, do you feel socially fulfilled by digital connections, and how do they compare to your in real life relationships? Do you feel that with your digital connections, like something's missing? Do you feel maybe for whatever reason that maybe you're more vulnerable online versus with real friends, or do you open up to your people in real life a little more? I kind of find that sometimes I am more inclined to open up with strangers on the internet than I am with my closest friends. It's probably really sick and backwards. Um, I don't know why. As a Gen Z, I am super with this shift. Love a small intimate party. Yes, with a little charcuterie. Monique says COVID killed the party scene. That's probably right. That's probably right. How old was most of Gen Z during COVID? I mean, like early mid to mid 20s. Um, that's right when they should have been out doing that. I love my LinkedIn friends, but I still wish I had more in real life friends to go grab a coffee with or walk. Can't beat physical presence, but I do still feel a sense of closeness with my online relationships. The vulnerability is still there. I feel this too, Savannah. Like, I do want both. Um, and I feel like since becoming a mom, it's been harder to kind of do those things. Or if I say to some friends, like, oh, we should get together, it's always like, let's go to a playground and like let's do something for the kids, which is fine. But I also think we could bring the kids on a walk and bring them to a restaurant and a coffee shop, or like do like adult things too. But I think it's a balance. Digital connections are good when in real life is unavailable, distance, pandemic, etc. It can also be a way to initiate a connection, but I do love meeting in person and connecting over food or activities to maintain that connection. Yeah, I love hosting. I love having people in my home. I don't know, I think there's just something different about like inviting people over versus also just meeting them out. I wish my LinkedIn friends lived closely. Yes, let's like map it all out. One day we're going to do like Pop Chat Con and we're all going to get together, maybe in Calabasas, who knows. So many of my in real life relationships, Savannah says, have become digital connections over the years. Ooh, when I read this, I initially thought you meant the opposite, like your digital connections you've been meeting in real life. But now you're saying you've kind of lost touch with a lot of in real life relationships. I think that's happening to me too, now that you say it out loud. I wish I had my own private neighborhood with all my friends. The more I think about this, the more I want to live in like a compound with my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephews and my parents over here, and like, like maybe not the in-laws for some people, but um my in-laws are great. So, oh, Lucia's here. Yay. Yes. Lucia is one of my mom friends. So yeah, let's bring your kids. Let's go. Lucia, when are we getting breakfast? That was the thing. We were going to go get breakfast, and I think we still should. And bring the kids, and we could have adult conversations, but the kids can still have fun. So, Chris says, well, Kyle says, my digital connections are out of sight, out of mind a lot of times. I love my run clubs. Run club, that's awesome. Happy hours and small friend hangs. In person will never be replaced by digital hangs. There's no comparison. It's true. It is true. Chris says, when you're making the digital connections, things seem fine, but when you then go out and have an in real life convo, it makes you realize how important all the other sensory elements and instant feedback are. Yeah. Have you ever like had a friend invite you somewhere and you kind of, I don't know, weren't feeling up for it, or, it was a long drive to kind of meet them or whatever. And you kind of dread it a little bit, but once you get there and once you actually see that person and hug that person and have a great talk, like you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did that. Yeah. Amy says it's easier for me to find people who get it in online communities than in the real world, but I question whether our in-person relationships suffer. Should the different parts of us be so compartmentalized? This is really deep. We got to get together at Cracker Barrel. Yes. No phones, just games. That's the plan. Miss going out, but as soon as I'm out, I feel old and want to go home. I want to say someone fact checked me on this, but that is like the premise of the first ever scene in Seinfeld, where Jerry Seinfeld's like, why is it that when we're out, or when we go out, we're so excited to go out. And then when we're out, all we want to do is go home. Like, I want to say that was like his first bit. Yeah, I don't go out past 6 p.m. As Brianna would tell you. That's hamburger helper time. Like, yeah. Especially living in NYC, so many of my friends are transient and have moved out of the city. So many in real life friends have become digital friends. Yeah. That's a very sad reality. I've thought about, like I said, with Savannah, I've thought about the reverse, like digital friends becoming friends that you meet in real life. But not the opposite, like your in real life friends just moving away, or suddenly you only connect with them online. That is very sad, but also fortunate, because otherwise maybe we would have to be writing letters, and no one's doing that. We're able to see glimpses into their life a little bit more with technology. Yeah, let's go to breakfast on Sunday, Lucia. We'll bring the girls. Lucia is my next door neighbor, everyone. Isn't this cool? Let's see. Amy says, but it's so great that we even have all of these ways to connect digitally and can stay connected. Yeah, exactly, Amy. And connect with friends even on the other side of the world. Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. I think that's a good lesson for all of us, is to think about those close friends that you've had that now just feel like they're a digital friend, and to reach out to them, maybe even call them. Call them. Oh my gosh. I've recently connected in real life with friends and it rules. Yeah. So I think that's a really good note to end on. A couple minutes early today. You're right, Brie. First stand up on Seinfeld, the pilot was, we're out right now. Yeah, we're out right now and we all want to go home. Send me a pigeon. We can connect. Yeah, simpler times. All right, friends. Like I said, I hope this was a bright spot. I am very grateful for these digital friendships I have with all of you, and in real life friends like my neighbor. So invent a teleporter. Yes. Blur all the lines of digital and in real life. I think, yes, if there was like one superpower I could have, no, I still think I'd rather travel back in time, but a teleporter would be a very close second. I call my best friend every day. That's amazing. Oh, we have a few minutes left, so I'm going to do this little experiment. I saw one of the other professors at UF, his name is Dustin York. He did this video yesterday where, as his students were coming into class, he put them on camera and he said, when was the last time you called your parents? And it was like all these Gen Zers just saying when they spoke to their parents last. So as we wrap up, when was the last time you called your parents, folks? Oh, yes. Call them on the phone with my voice. I love having my friend next door. We need to leave the neighborhood. Yes. So everyone here, I see my next door neighbor a ton, Lucia, but we have been trying to get off our damn street to go out and do something with the kids, without the kids, both. But it's been so hard. Like, why is it so hard? Don't put me in LA. I'll get neck pain from the constant head swivel trying to spot someone. I know. That's how I feel. Howie Mandel, just greeted him as if we knew each other. I was with my best friend when we saw Snoop Dogg come out of an elevator, and she was just like, "What's up, Snoop?" I was like, "Oh my God." I love that video. Which video? I forgot what I said. Oh, yes. The one of, yeah. Call your mom, call your parents if you are still lucky to have them. Sundays. What happens on Sundays? Is that when you call your parents? 2 days ago. Yes. So if you're still fortunate enough to have your parents, give them a call. Or just call someone you love that you haven't spoken to in a while. That is a wrap. You guys, the baby status. Oh, no, she's awake. She's awake, but not crying. So I've got to run, folks, but thank you so much for spending your Friday with me. Like I said, especially on this heavy week. I hope this was a little bright spot and some motivation to reconnect with people and a reminder of what really matters. So, yes, call your parents. I'll see you next Friday. Thanks everyone. And some really like some new faces here today. David, I hope you had a good time. Bill, you're welcome anytime. Noah, you jokesters. Leah, honored that you joined us today. Monique, thank you for your questions. Like everyone was on fire today, so thank you so much. I've been smiling this whole time, so thank you. And Lucia, catch you later. All right, bye guys. See you next time. Oh, Savannah, thank you. Thank you guys. Sima, I want to hear about your new job and how things are going. Amy will regroup next week after Dancing with the Stars. Pravir, thank you for showing up. First timer. All right. I mean it this time. See you next Friday. Bye. Thanks, David.